So Trevon, if you can just introduce yourself to the audience so people know who you are.
Yeah, so my name, Jesus Christ.
my name is Trevon, right?
Trevon Brown.
Trevon Brown.
Shall we do it again? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another LN Capital real life business podcast session. We're here today with
Trevon Brown.
And my name is Luigi Newton. So hey, let's get straight into it. Trevon, if you can you please explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Trevon Brown. I am half Jamaican, half English, and I'm currently 24 years old. I'm currently training to be a financial advisor, ideally specializing in working with business owners as well as real estate professionals to help them, save money on their taxes, ensure that they have a comprehensive financial plan. I'm also, aside from that, a property investing enthusiast. I plan to have a lot of properties in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much quite a bit about me.
Yeah, thanks, man. So guys, for those of you that don't know, we've been trying to get Trevon on the channel for the longest, but we finally convinced him and he's come on.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, so we just want to get into it today, like talk about market crashing, interest rates rising, and just kind of a lot of hot topics right now in the market. So, firstly, let's get straight into it. Do you think the market is going to crash even further?
Yes, I would say that the market is going to crash. But first, let's clarify a quick thing. When people say crashing, like the market's going to crash, what they generally mean is that the market's going to go into a recession.
Yeah.
And a recession is defined by when the gross domestic product falls in terms of percentage value for 2 quarters in a row. So if it's not 2 successive quarters, then it's not going to be a recession. That doesn't mean that the value of certain investments won't fall, but that's not, a distinct definition of what a recession is. So I do think the market will crash purely because there is the highest level of inflation that there has been for a while. The Bank of England is increasing its interest rates since, very high compared to what they've done in previous times. They've increased the rate by 0.5 basis points, which is the highest increase that they've done for about 27 years. That's over a 400% increase, so it's a pretty steep increase. And in order to do that, there obviously has to be some pretty drastic and daunting times. They wouldn't do that for no reason, so I definitely think there is high potential for the market to crash.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're in the game now. We're seeing how things are going. So doing a lot of viewings on properties. I'm noticing there's less competition. Yeah. There's not that much stock that's coming to market. However, I do think there's going to be lots of properties coming to market soon. Unfortunately, I think people are going to be forced out of their houses. They're going to be forced to sell. They're going to be in a bad financial situation where they have to sell. Yeah. Energy prices have gone crazy. A lot of people can't afford to keep their homes. So it is going crazy right now. I think lots of people are going to be getting into debt, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Taking out loans, getting behind on their payments with energy bill providers, etc. So I do think right now we do need the government to kind of step in and help those people. That's what my biggest thing is right now.
Yeah, I would definitely say, it is some daunting times that we're facing at the moment. This is potentially, a lot of people are comparing this to the 2008 recession.
Yeah.
I think the inflation, in addition to interest rates, is making it extremely difficult for the lower classes and even the middle classes to survive. The middle class is getting crushed month by month. When inflation is high and the Bank of England are increasing their rates, it's all things potentially go out of whack. It's going to be a bit more expensive to buy cars on finance. It's going to be more expensive to buy homes because the monthly mortgage repayment price is going to be a lot higher. So any form of borrowing or lending is going to be increased so much in this society and today's age. So and as you know, today's society, the majority of it is dependent on credit and debt. That's how most of us live our lives. There's not many people. I can't even count on one hand how many people have a house without a mortgage.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone has debt, and with the monthly mortgage repayments increasing, it's going to be pressurizing a lot of working class people.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we don't have a crystal ball. This is just a property developer and a financial advisor. We're sitting here today, we're giving our opinion on what we think the situation is and what's going to happen. So for those of you that don't know, obviously Very close with T. You know, we go on holiday. We like to travel. But what would you say you've noticed over the last 12 months in terms of the market?
Well, markets, the stock market has dropped drastically. Now, arguably, depending on your perspective, stocks are on sale. There's major companies like Tesla, Apple that have dropped, you know, at some points over 20-30%. That's unheard of in a matter of months, you know. So the stock market is down, and it would continue to be down for obvious reasons. If I could just go into that.
Yeah, of course.
So one of the main macroeconomic factors that dictate a lot of how markets performs is interest rates. So the government usually controls interest rates through this thing that they call monetary policy. When this increases, it forces other companies to increase their rates just so they can maintain a profit margin, right? So one thing that is also important to understand as well is that each business would have its own loans and its own debts. So as we said previously, when interest rates increase, the cost of borrowing is going to be higher. That means each company's borrowing costs are going to be higher. So, you know, Tesla's borrowing costs are going to be higher. Apple's is. Metaverse's borrowing costs are going to be higher. What this essentially means is that it's cutting into their profit. And when that happens, it means that, you know, they'll be less likely to potentially pay dividends, as well as their profit margins in each quarter is likely to reduce. And when investors generally see that, it means that they're going to, you know, the investor psychology is when something's dropping, get out quick.
Yeah.
So that is going to further, you know, add into the fact that the markets are going to drop. In terms of the property market, I think what you said was, you know, you hit the nail on the head in the sense of there are going to be a great supply of properties because certain people will essentially be kicked out. It's not going to be like, you know, a nice little smooth push out. They're going to be kicked out when interest rates are further going to increase. That's my assumption. It's not a fact.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I do think it will provide, depending on your perspective, a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
If you are someone with cash in this upcoming recession, you could be at a serious advantage if you know what to do with it. So I would definitely recommend, you know, don't take what we're saying here as gospel. Definitely seek out financial expert advice or even do your own education on your own terms, because there are great opportunities to come in this market with, you know, the two markets of property potentially getting below market value deals. They may increase, as well as stocks being on, you know, sale. So that's my current stance on the market at the moment.
Okay, cool. Because I'll just say, just to add to that, I feel like my personal view is in this recession that we're in right now, is that the rich are going to get richer and the poorer, unfortunately, I think are going to get poorer. I do think that people with cash right now, they have massive opportunity to buy property for less than it's been worth for a long time, and you can get some bargain deals because there's just less competition, and they are going to get wealthy in the long run if they can buy now, hold on to these properties, and then over time when the market picks back up, you know, it's land grabbing. So essentially I feel like the market, for myself, my views on it is that, you know, I'm going to continue to buy. I'm going to be super due diligent with what I do buy. Make sure the deal stacks up at 10, 12 or 15% interest rate. So for me, if a deal doesn't stack at those interest rates, I'm not going to go ahead on it. There needs to be a very high margin, you know, in terms of profit that we can make, because everything's going up. So construction costs are going up, interest rates are going up. So we just need to make sure we have a big margin of profit per each deal. For me, each property deal is like its own little mini business. So that's how I view it, of right, how much profit we're going to make per month, you know, and different variables as well. And how do people contact you if they want to get in touch with you?
So I'm going to be dropping some YouTube videos. My channel is just going to be Travon Brown. I have an Instagram account as well. Hopefully we can, you know, add that in below.
So you've got YouTube as well, yeah?
Yeah. So YouTube will be Travon Brown as well, and Instagram. That will be the main things. I will be dropping some podcasts on Spotify as well. Again, that's just going to be. Well, I haven't actually thought of a podcast name yet, but I will be thinking of a name, and but I'll be there on the social media handles. Yeah,
guys, check him out. I'll put all the links in the description anyway. And then T, I just want to ask you, like, what's it like being, you know, we're very similar. You know, we've got very entrepreneurial mindset. We love business. We're both relatively young. How old did you say you was? 24?
24,
Yeah, so obviously I'm 27, T's 24. What do you find it like? How do you find it being a young business and driven person in today's society?
I think Today's society, you can take it one of two ways. You know, you can be caught up in the glitz and the glamour, and do all the extravagant kind of things and spend money unnecessarily, or at the same time you can be, you know, conservative and only go out on certain occasions. Or I'm not saying, you know, you have to be completely frugal, although I am a victim of that, as you know, quite a few times.
Put it this way, no tips were given in Mexico, right? We're at Mexico, obviously these don't get paid off tips. Like, all the workers get paid off tips, yeah. T's like,
God.
no.
With good reason. But
it was terrible, no one.
There was. Some of the service wasn't that good. Remember the shisha?
Yeah, terrible.
We won't get into that.
Man gave us one coal. Like, imagine you got a shisha with one coal. You're like, bruh, what's going on here? But yeah.
So, like I said, it can go one of two ways. I think it is difficult because social media does portray an extravagant life that everyone is supposedly living. But at the end of the day, social media is just a facade, and it's a highlight reel of everyone's best moments.
Yeah, it's not real, is it? Like,
it's not real. So I wouldn't get too caught up with that. That is the difficulty of it, wanting to show what you're doing. But at the end of the day, if you have good intrinsic value and you understand what mission you're on, I think it's quite good. You can definitely connect with certain like-minded people in today's society, and, you know, develop that kind of wolf pack that will help you to thrive and become a better version of yourself.
Yeah. So would you say being around, you know, the right friendship groups, the right circles, has that been helpful for you?
I would say that's definitely been one of the most influential factors in developing my mindset and developing myself. Because what I think constitutes having a great circle is accountability. Yeah. There's certain times where Luigi's pulling me to the side and he's giving me that tough love of just saying, listen, you're not doing this, you need to do A, B, C. And it's having that humility to be like, you know what, let me listen to this guy and actually take steps for the better. I feel like that's so important. There's certain people that can drag you away from your vision and take you away from the path that you're needing to go onto. So I think having that wolf pack, as I call it, or having that circle is going to be one of the most important things that you can decide upon in your 20s. Yeah. If you don't secure that in your 20s, that could be life changing. That could range from your friends or even your girlfriend. At the end of the day, you are a reflection of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Okay. So, man, we got some animals in our pack, though.
We got some good people in our pack.
We got some animals. We got some real animals.
I'm very happy with our pack.
Yeah. You know what? I just think it's just so important to be around the right people. And like you saying, you know, there's been times where I pulled you to the side, but that's vice versa too. Yeah. There's been times where you've pulled me to the side, like, Luigi, you're fucking up. Yeah. Like, fix up. Yeah. And you need those kind of friends to help you grow, basically. Yeah. So I think definitely I agree with you. Being around the right people is crucial. Yeah. And I feel like if you want to get into property, go and make friends with some property developers. You know, you'll learn so much from them. So that's been massive for myself as well.
If there's just one more thing that I could say as well is don't be afraid to, if you're a driven, ambitious person in today's society, don't be afraid to let go of some of your old friends. You know, certain times you can actually outgrow people, and that's not a bad thing. That's not you being condescending or looking down on people. That's just that you have 2 different journeys, and, you know, you're going in separate directions. Yeah. I think what you could see it like is a closing the gap. You know, if you're going up here, there's only one way to close that gap. That's either you coming down or they coming up with you. If they don't come up with you, why would you come back down if you're on a good journey, you know? Yeah. So be okay with letting go some friends. I don't mean you have to cut them out completely, but it does mean, you know, maybe just text them here and then. Yeah. But you got to stay focused and be with the wolf pack.
That's it. So T, what do you think about this? I see this quite a lot in today's generation. You know, a similar age group between 20 to 30 years old in Nottingham, which is where we live. We live in Nottingham. Yeah. I noticed that there's a lot of people, they're trying to live the champagne lifestyle on lemonade money. Like, let's just be real. Now, I've been lucky that I've never fell into that trap. I've never been that guy what was buying all the designer, buying a car what I couldn't afford, you know. Yeah. Trying to be that drippy guy in the club popping bottles on a VIP table that you paid £500 for, but you're living at your mum's house. Like, it's wild. And the thing is, I see it so much and it's actually kind of shocking. Like, I think as men, we need to step up.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely think as men we need to do better, and that does apply to women as well. Let's not get that wrong. There are certain women that are, not making as much money to live the lifestyle that they're portraying.
Yeah.
But what I think it comes down to is, I think people would do better if they had an internal locus of control. That's just a psychological term for basically your sense of value and what you are responsible for is internalized, i.e. what am I responsible for?
Yeah.
My value comes from me, not from external factors such as like materialistic possessions, cars, champagne nights. I don't think there's any benefit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just our mindset, but I don't see much benefit in being in a club getting a table. The way that I would look at it is £500 on the one hand on a table, or £500 investing or saving something that's going to actually make you money.
And it's mad because the guys that were doing that when I was like 18, 19, 20, that I was chilling with at that time, I always called them out on it. I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? You're not there. Why are you buying the table? You're not there. Like, save your money, invest your money. And I just feel like those ones are going to get left behind. They will face financial problems, you know? And like, it's sad to see it, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to just live a flash lifestyle when you're not there yet, then you are fucking yourself up. Because I feel like people need to be more focused on building wealth through buying assets, running businesses, and trying to focus on more long term rather than the instant gratification of I want to look sick in a club, so I'm gonna go and get that £500 t-shirt. It's like, it's mad because all these £500 they add up to a deposit for a house, and now you've got a lifetime asset.
Yes. So chucking money at you.
And that's why I'm always pushing the young people that watch this channel to stay away from those guys at the club, and just realise nothing good comes from the club. You're gonna be going clubbing. What are you gonna gain from that? Maybe a few girls here and there. So what? You don't need that. That's not gonna help you anyway. Like, you're not gonna meet your wife in a club. Point blank period. So
if I could just add to that as well, I think one of the most important skills that people can develop, men and women today, is the ability to delay gratification.
Yeah.
Delaying gratification is saying no to things today to say yes to things tomorrow.
Yes.
If you say no to buying that bottle at the club, to getting that £500 table, you can say yes to getting that asset that's going to chuck you off 12 grand a year or 20 grand a year or whatever. So it's just having that ability and that focus to just say, I'm not going to do this for this. It's a very good skill. I think a lot of people can change their life drastically just by delaying that gratification. I think, I think social media has a massive impact on that. Because social media is designed to capture people's attention. No fault of its own, the founder done a great job, on that. But it provides people with instant gratification. So much, you upload a pic. I'm a victim of it, I have been, not on socials as much anymore, but you look at a pic, you get a like, and it's like dopamine kind of hit. So it's instantly like, this feels good now. But it's that ability to be like, I don't want what's good now. I want what's good later. Because if you do sacrifice and delay gratification for 3, 4, 5 years, the life that you're going to have 3, 4, 5 years time, it's going to be way better than you could have had if you was getting bottles in the club every weekend.
And this can apply to things like relationships too. And even if you're just seeing someone or whatever, you might think, you might want them in the moment because they're hot, they're attractive, whatever. But then long term they're not necessarily good for you or right for you. So I think it comes into play in lots of different ways. So I definitely think that instant gratification it's not the way to do things, guys. I feel like delayed gratification is much better. And things that come easy, what's that saying that they say? If anything good don't come easy. Is that what it's called?
Anything worth having doesn't come easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel like put in the work now, graft it out, save, try and buy some houses, buy some stocks, buy some, invest in S&P 500. Just do the safe way and the long way. I remember me and you have had this conversation about being impatient. We both very struggled with being impatient. And I remember when I started out in property, I was so fucking impatient. I can remember that burning feeling of, I want to get my first one yesterday. Like, you know that
I wanted it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like that horrible hunger feeling. And then, right, cool. When you're in a position, right, I found a house, but it's taking months for me to get the keys, and I'm just getting more impatient. And I'm like, all of that negative energy of the impatient feeling is actually blocking my blessings.
Yeah.
And soon, when I realized that when I'm more, I let the universe take over, I let God take over, and I stopped feeling that burning aggression and impatience, more things started coming and flowing. It should, like, all the good things are going to flow into your life. House number 2, number 3, number 4, they will flow in, rather than you just being impatient and when I don't have, rather than focus on what you do have. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you can't force blessings into your life. Some of the most successful people are also the most patient. And I think you said a perfect point of letting God and universe, or the universe, depending on your beliefs, take the wheel. At the end of the day, everything happens at the exact, you might not think it, you might not, but it happens at the exact right time. I genuinely believe that, certain things would happen at that point because you are now ready to accept that blessing. Certain time, it is, you have to look yourself in the face. Sometimes you're not ready to receive a blessing. Do you know how many times some people, perfect example, you could be lottery winners who got it unexpectedly and they blow it next month. There was a story where there was a guy, he's now working as a garbage disposal man. I don't know what you call them. No discredit to a bin man.
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, bin man, whatever. No discredit to that job, but going from winning millions on the lottery to working in a bin man, it's a major difference. So that's just a testament to the fact that
he wasn't ready for that blessing.
He wasn't ready for the blessing.
And like, this applies to all sorts of stuff, like sometimes what you want is not what is meant for you.
It's not what you need.
And then you see later on something better comes anyway.
Exactly.
So like, you can be there caught thinking, I want this, I want that, I want that. You don't get it, but something better comes down the road.
Exactly.
Put in the work. And like, I feel there's a lot of people who have got unresolved issues which they've not faced. And if they do face them, then they've got major growth. For example, I know we've both done therapy. I don't know if you're comfortable speaking about this on camera.
I am.
Cool, because I can remember when you initially did the therapy, I seen such a change in you. A massive change. Like, you just seemed like you was in a way better place. You was always in a kind of good place, but I feel like you just worked on a lot of unresolved issues, and man, I seen the benefit, and that's what made me go into the therapy. Because you was like, Luigi, you should do this, man.
If I could just say, I feel like there's so much negative stigma attached to people that do therapy. Some of the most successful people have therapists consistently, weekly sessions. I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to go to therapy. Me personally, speaking from my own experience, I did not go to therapy because I was breaking down or I had a mental health disorder or anything like that. I merely approached therapy with the mindset of, in the future, I know, let's be real, everyone has unresolved issues. So your mum may have treated you a certain way in childhood and it may have manifested today, but you're not aware of it. Everyone has unresolved issues through childhood that could manifest themselves in a severe way when you're 30 or 40. So I approached therapy with the mindset of, let me unresolve these issues now, or let me open up these kind of worms that I'm not aware need to be opened up. Just so I can get, the step ahead. And as you've seen, it's changed my mind and my life pretty much for the better. I understand myself so much more now than I would have been able to without having therapy. So I highly recommend everyone should go and have some therapy.
So guys, if you're looking, where do you get therapy from? There's an app called BetterHelp. I'm not sponsored by them just yet, but BetterHelp, if you are listening, let's do something. So we've both done through the app BetterHelp. It's about £180 a month. However, you get 4 sessions, you get 1 a week. So it works out to be about roughly about £45 per session. So guys, check that out. I fully recommend it. For therapy for myself, I find it to be massively beneficial. As we said, we're talking about success, and it's not just being rich or being wealthy or business. For me, success is, there's so many different factors of, are you happy as a person? Do you feel in a good place mentally? Are you spiritually in a good place? You know, are you with the right people? Are you around the right friends? These things here is all part of success for myself. So like for me, the therapy was just making sure that I'm in the best possible version of myself, you know, and operating at a higher frequency than when I was.
Yeah, one good thing I found interesting is in the religion of Jew, I think it's called Jew, right? Or is it Hebrew?
I have no idea. I don't even
Jews, essentially, one thing that the Jews do is that they have this kind of traditional ceremony, I think it is, and they would pour some wine or some sort of liquid into a cup, right? And then underneath there's a little filter where when that cup is full, it then overflows into the bottom of the cup.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be, well, the way I interpreted that is that's a testament to you can't help and, you know, help outwardly until you filled up your own cup. You know, you have to give into yourself. You have to be healthy, happy, spiritually enlightened before you can give on to others. At the end of the day, you know, it's a cliche for a reason that hurt people. Good people don't hurt people because they're happy within themselves and they want other people to flourish and do positive things. So just add to what Luigi's saying, you know, you just got to pour into yourself, pour that love into yourself, that spirituality, that therapy into yourself, do things that would make you think that you're of value before you even...
That's it. And it's things as well, like looking after yourself. So for example, would you say fitness, because obviously we both basically go gym every day. So wake up in the morning, do a fitness workout, do some weights, running, boxing, kickboxing, you know, lots of different things that we like to do. Would you say that's helped you in business and, you know, being a financial advisor like you are? Has it helped you in your career?
I would say it's helped my emotional stability. I've never been someone that has been depressed or anything like that, but I do remember a specific moment that was in COVID, in the COVID time. It was 2020. I was at home a lot, of course, like everyone else was. I looked in the mirror one day. I wasn't hating myself, but I just thought, I'm not happy not being strong or not being the best version of myself physically. Ever since then, I made a commitment to myself to just be the best, become. I don't think it's even possible, but have the pursuit of being the best version of myself physically. And ever since I adopted that pursuit, I think it has helped me so much with how I feel about myself, how confident I come across, how much more approachable I am, because I'm happy for people to come and talk to me.
Because you've had a full-on body transformation. Like when I first met you, you put on a lot more muscle now than back then. You were skinny, man. I'm not gonna lie. You were skinny, but bro, like honestly, I'm honestly so proud of you. Like you smashed it. Like it's inspirational. Because you see T, he'll be eating like salmon and rice, no seasoning.
We've got to work on the seasoning.
But anyway, alright, so what do you think about living in Nottingham versus living in London?
Okay, I think, you know, I have some pretty strong thoughts about this. I think there's some major differences, right? So living in Nottingham, it is great as a starting point. That's the one caveat to that. Starting point in the sense of it gives you a good foundation, it's not too intense. It's a bit low-key, but I think it all depends on what you want out of your life, in my opinion. That's not to say you can't be extremely successful in Nottingham, but if you really want to be rubbing shoulders, which is what, you know, success is at the high levels in terms of business is about, if you want to be rubbing shoulders with the elite, pretty much, the wealthy people, the ones that are doing serious numbers, I think London is exactly where it's at. Just waking up and having everyone from probably 5, 6 a.m. just on the go, chasing after it, going after their dreams, just making big deals. I feel like that, if you have the right mindset, will be so contagious, and I feel like that's lacking in Nottingham.
It's a different vibe, and I feel like in Nottingham, I kind of feel like, say if you was a female in Nottingham and you was trying to find ambitious guys to date or something, it must be hard for them, man. There's not that many of us. Like I don't know that many of guys like us, we've got massive goals and dreams, because most of the man that like that, they've gone to London, they've gone to Manchester, or they've gone to Dubai or something. And it's like, I'm noticing that. But for me, the reason I'm still living here is because the business opportunities in Nottingham is incredible. You know, I've got lots of joint venture partners that live in London, and for me, they like the fact I live in Notts, because I can be a developer here. House prices are great. We can build out these large HMOs. It's going good, but I do see myself living in London at some point. just maybe in a few years when I can just build this large portfolio a little bit further, then go to London and maybe do back and forth.
I think, you know, it depends on the industry that you're in. Like property, like you said, in Nottingham is great, especially compared to London. You can get like a 2-bed flat for like £1 million. It's not really worth it in terms of ROI. But for me specifically, being in finance, there's no better place to be than London. The only better place than that potentially would be like New York, Wall Street kind of places.
Imagine living in New York.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be a vibe.
But Nottingham, you know, finance is just, come on, like, there's not much.
There's not that.
There is obviously firms,
billionaires and millionaires.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like I've got a friend, right, who obviously he owns about 300 properties in Nottingham, and like I'm able to spend time with him and understand his mindset. But he kind of said, look, it was working, and I just kept doing it. You know, he kept buying, and now he just kept doing it basically for like 10 years, and now he's just owns 300 properties, and it's like it's a lot of property. He owns big blocks, apartment blocks, warehouses, all sorts. So it's great to see that, but also I'm thinking for myself, I do the social media side. You know, there's lots of in London we could do a lot of events and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I just think it would be nice to be in London.
I do think, you know, with what you said, being on social media definitely gives you an advantage. In London, I don't know, this is my assumption. But I would imagine that it would be a lot more shoulder to shoulder kind of work, like going to the seminars, going to the breakfast club, lunch, all of that stuff. Whereas, you know, in Nottingham, I don't know much networking events.
And as well, like for me as well, being around lots more ambitious people in London, because obviously right now we've got us, our you know, our circle, but in London we'll be able to expand that and just like we'd meet some great people. You know, so
I do think if we was to go to London, our circle would be dangerous.
It would.
It would be dangerous.
It would.
That would be top tier circle.
Yeah. What would you say in regards to relationships? Obviously, I know you're in a relationship right now. How important do you think relationships are? We're talking about, you know, romantic relationships here. What's been your approach to romantic relationships, dating, and how do you think it's affected your business and basically your career?
I think relationships play such an important role in terms of well-being. Like your partner can give a lot of happiness and fulfillment to you, and as well as helping you to stay focused. It's very important to make sure that you're choosing the right girl or guy, depending on your gender and interests, to be in a relationship with, because the partner that you're with can really dictate the quality of your life. You know, it is important to have your own life away from the relationship, but if you are thriving in one aspect, i.e. business or physical health and whatnot, and then you come home and then you're around a completely negative woman or man, that's going to put a complete downer on your whole mood, and it's going to prevent you from wanting to do things that are productive, potentially. I think one important trait that I've had and established in my relationship is the fact that we understand the importance of our own individual time, in the terms of there's not any complaints or arguments when it comes to me carving out some time to progress my career, and whether that's through studying, reading or self-development, making videos and whatnot, and vice versa. I feel like that is a very healthy trait to have.
It's called a secure attachment style. So like in therapy we talk about attachment styles, and there's, you know, insecure attachment style. That is, why are you going there for? Who are you with? What time are you coming back? All that insecurity there. Or the secure attachment style is, right, cool, have a great time, cool, you go there, whatever. It's more like very chill, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of honesty, and it's just a healthy relationship. And then there's, you know, the, what's the other one? Avoidant attachment style?
There's insecure avoidant, insecure ambivalent, which is like confused, and then there's secured.
Okay,
So avoidant is more so of the like you're not too present in the relationship, you know. Like you could say like I'm into you and whatnot, and then, you know, you're not really responding back.
If things get too deep, someone might pull away if they're an avoidant style.
Ambivalent is a bit of, you can imagine it as, you know, push and pull. There'll be times when they're really close to you and they're really wanting to become engaged. And within the relation, and there's times where they're like complete opposite.
Push,
where secured is, you know, there's just a healthy balance. That's what it is, just a balance between people's times, understanding people's opinions and values, validating people's emotions, giving people the space that they need to be an individual outside the relationship and within the relationship. And also, I think there is a good foundation of the responsibilities within the relationship. The responsibilities of a man, what he brings to the table, and the woman of what she brings to the table. That's
so important, man.
Yeah.
It's got to be a win-win. Like, it's got to be a win-win situation for both parties, you know. But T, I think you should make a video on this, man. Honestly, I feel like we could go in depth into this.
Yeah,
but,
good.
T, I'm excited for your YouTube channel. I'm not gonna lie, like I know you're gonna push some sick videos.
Yeah,
so I'm super excited. But everyone, make sure if you've not already, check out T's YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on this video, but also go show some love to T's videos and make sure to subscribe to his channel. We've got to get you monetized, man. As soon as you get 1,000 subscribers, you can get paid.
Is that what it is? 1,000 subscribers?
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Let's do it.
So let's get to that number, guys. Let's get to that number. Check out the link in the description. T, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Lovely to see you.
Nice.
Come on!
That's 2 videos knocked out.